Good evening. Welcome to you all. It's a pleasure to see you all, and thank you for joining us.
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a todos. Es un placer tenerlos y gracias por juntarse con nosotros.
This is the Kingston City Land Bank's Affordable Homeownership Opportunity Information Session.
Esta es la sesión informativa para la compra de viviendas asequibles de KCLB.
My name is Mike Hilliard. I serve as the Executive Director of the Kingston City Land Bank.
Yo soy Mike Gilliard y yo sirvo como el director ejecutivo del Kingston City Land Bank.
I am joined by Kyle Cohen, the Development Project Manager, also with the Kingston City Land Bank.
Junto conmigo está Kyle Cohen, el gerente de proyectos de desarrollo, también del Kingston City Land Bank.
I am also joined by Eileen Clifford, the Director of Housing Programs for PathStone in Newburgh.
También junta con nosotros es Eileen Clifford, la directora de programas de vivienda de PathStone.
We are also glad to be joined by Darrell Ford, the Senior Vice President of Single Family Programs for the State of New York Mortgage Agency.
También nos complace tener con nosotros a Darrell Ford, la vicepresidente senior de programas de familias monoparentales del Estado de Nueva York, Agencia de Préstamos Hipotecarios.
And last but certainly not least, none of this would be possible without our community interpreter, Alexis Alexander.
Y último, pero también importante, es no podríamos hacerlo sin la ayuda de ella, nuestra intérprete comunitaria, Alexis Alexander.
Quickly, we're going to be enabling Spanish interpretation for this process. Right now, we're doing consecutive interpretation, but we're going to be opening this up to simultaneous interpretation.
Repito, vamos a activar la interpretación en español. Hasta ahorita hemos hecho la interpretación consecutiva, pero vamos a abrirlo para la interpretación simultánea.
In a minute, Mike will enable interpretation, and you should see on your taskbar a globe icon with the option to select which language you want to listen to the presentation in.
Enseguida, cuando activa Mike la interpretación.
Can you hear me, Kyle?
I can hear you. I think yes, interpretation is live.
I did
Everyone
it too soon. I'm so sorry.
Everyone listening should select a language in should click the interpretation button in the taskbar and then select either English or Spanish for your preferred language. Okay.
I don't believe that I can. Sorry.
Yes. Sure. Yeah,
Please.
I was trying to. I can't copy paste.
Sorry about that.
Again, if you're just joining us, click the interpretation globe on the taskbar. You might need to click the ... more button and select your preferred language for the presentation. All right, should we?
Yeah.
Move on then? All right,
Yes,
Mike.
thanks. Sure. So I think we covered this slide as far as the
Okay.
general intros, but jumped around a little bit there.
Okay. I'll go into the session. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Kyle. I did want to ask Darrell, is there anything that you would like to say? I'm so sorry. This is jumping around.
No, other than I'm so pleased to be here with all of you partners and sharing this incredibly positive information with all of the folks in your community.
Thank you.
So quickly, I'll explain the meeting process. We're working with Alexis as interpreter. She's interpreting on a separate audio channel. Hopefully we have that cleared up by now. But if you're just joining, make sure you click on the globe in the taskbar within click interpretation and select your preferred language. One thing I want to note is we're going to be taking a 5-minute break every 30 minutes to allow Alexis to give her a bit of a break. So I'll be cutting in when it's time for those breaks. In the chat, I've pasted a link for the presentation in Spanish if you'd like to follow along. Again, I'll paste it again. The slides, they're going to remain available online on the website after the presentation if you're curious. We'll have time for questions at the end of the presentation, but feel free to type questions in the chat and I'll collect them so we can address them at the end. And feel free to write in English or in Spanish and we'll make sure to address them. So following up on Mike's introduction, there are 2 organizations that you'll be primarily interacting with in the beginning of this process, and we'll be talking to you the most today. I thought it'd be helpful to emphasize who we are and what we do. Mike and I are with the Kingston City Land Bank. We acquire, renovate, and sell the homes, and we'll be collecting registrations and conducting the lottery. Eileen is with PathStone. PathStone provides home ownership counseling, and after you're registered with the KCLB, PathStone will work with you on your intake packet and will work with you on the qualification process. So in this session, we're going to discuss what you need to know about the opportunity to own these 3 homes. Just a quick note. Just a quick note, these are renderings of the finished product. We're nearly complete with each home, and we expect the final home to be delivered in January. You can drive by and check out the process. We highly encourage that. We're just going to cover the eligibility to apply, the timeline for application and purchase, the registration process. Then we're going to talk a little more about the KCLB and the work we can do to give you some idea of what to expect from these renovations. We're then going to talk about the 3 houses, the pricing and how that's determined. And then we're going to open up the floor to Darrell and loan officers who are going to provide some more information about a mortgage product. And lastly, we'll have time for question and answers. And again, feel free to write questions in the chat and we'll collect them for the end. As a reminder, we're going to have 5-minute breaks every 30 minutes, but hopefully we won't have too many of these. We're going to try and get through this and jump to the Q&A so people have time to ask questions. So now I'm going to pass to Eileen, who's going to talk a little bit about eligibility.
Thank you so much, Kyle. So for this program, you must be a first-time homebuyer, which is defined as someone who currently does not own a home or who has not owned a home in the past 3 years. You have to be between a 3 and 8 person household size. Household is defined as a family and or a live-in aid. For the house at 124 Franklin and 169 Hurley, your family size must be between 3 to 6 people in the household. For 29 Rogers, this is for a 4 to 8 person household. Under the maximum household income for the family size, which is the chart on the very right, your household income is determined by using the 2022 and the 2023 projected numbers. So you will just look at your household size, how many folks are in your household income, and you have to be at or below that household income. You also must be a lawful permanent resident of the United States. You have to be able to get an affordable mortgage loan. So we'll discuss affordability and guidelines during our counseling sessions, but we have some great folks here from SONYMA that do have an awesome mortgage, and it is affordable that you may be eligible for. This is the timeline for how things are going to happen after tonight's session. First, you're going to register at kclb.org/homes by November 8th. Once you register, then we're going to send you an intake packet. So you have to first register, then you'll get a separate intake packet from PathStone, from our organization. You will complete the packet and return it to PathStone by December 8th. So this intake packet comes back to PathStone, not to the KCLB. PathStone will review your intake packet, and we will make contact with you that could qualify for the lottery. So what that means is we're going to be meeting with you, doing one-on-ones, looking at your income, your credit, verifying information, and talking about, again, most importantly, your affordability. If you qualify for that, then you're going to be entered into the lottery based upon your family size and the houses that you saw on the previous screen. KCLB is going to conduct the lottery on January 22nd. So at that time, you could either come in person or you can go through a similar platform as this, where you could watch it through Zoom. Once the selected buyers are chosen, then they're going to move on to contract and obtaining a mortgage. Once you move in or complete the contract, once you complete your contract, then we hope to close in the spring of 2024. So the Kingston City Land Bank Home Program registration. So the Land Bank is offering 3 fully renovated affordable homes for sale at 29 Rogers, 124 Franklin, and 169 Hurley. All 3 are currently under construction. So you can certainly go take a look. They may not allow you inside, but there are going to be some slides to show you what the layout's like. Occupancy is expected by February of 2024, and household size and income apply. There will be a public notice in English and in Spanish, and to be considered to purchase, you must complete the registration by November 8th. That's very important.
So just briefly to run through the registration process. This is the KCLB website. I want to point out we have this available in English and Spanish. And to register, you are going to go on kclb.org/homes and complete this purchase registration form. Enter in some of the information, or the information you see here. And once it should take 5 to 10 minutes, hopefully. And once you've completed that, the KCLB will pass along your info to PathStone, who will then reach out with the intake packet. Now, Mike is going to talk a little bit about the KCLB's mission.
Thank you, Pat. This is the most important slide in my mind for a representation of the work that we do and why we do it. This is the day that we hope you're all able to join us on this journey with and get to your ribbon cutting and enjoy your new home. The Kingston City Land Bank is a small but mighty nonprofit organization and a public authority. We were formed in 2018, and the mission of the organization is to put properties back on the tax rolls in Kingston, New York, through various methods. And most close to our core mission is to provide affordable homeownership opportunities. We are excited to conduct this work. We feel that it, in its own way, really contributes to our community, and we're happy that you're here to join us. On the next two slides, we'll be reviewing some of the work that we've done, and then Kyle will be walking through the homes that we have available. But since our formation, we have managed to fully renovate and sell 6 affordable homes in Kingston. This is one of the methods that we place properties back on the tax rolls. The properties themselves, as you will see in the coming slides, are very different than what you might expect from a simple home renovation. We're very proud of them. We're very proud of the homes that we have available for sale now, and we invite you to go visit them and see for yourself how they look very close to the renderings, and soon they will look hopefully very, very close to the renderings. For example, this is a home that we renovated at 248 Main Street. For those of you familiar with Kingston, this is the Uptown neighborhood. This is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath home. And hopefully you can see from these 4 photos how extensive the transformation of the work that we tried to produce is. This includes a full renovation in both of these homes, including new heating, new cooling systems, new windows, historic renovation of elements within the buildings, new bathrooms. We're very proud of this work, and we hope that you take the opportunity to view the homes yourself. Thanks.
So a little bit more about the homes for offer today. This is 29 Rogers Street. Let's see before and after here. Just want to note again, it's a final rendering of the home. We expect this home to be wrapped up in the next couple months. But I'll encourage you to drive by and check in on the process. It's the largest house we're offering. It has 4 bedrooms, which, as Eileen explained, this house is limited to household sizes between 4 and 8 people, and it's going to have a maximum purchase price of $236,000. Here are the floor plans. Just a reminder, this presentation is available online at kclb.org/homes if you want to dig into any of these pictures more. But like the work Mike was showing before, these houses will be have fully electric, energy efficient appliances, new plumbing, extensive renovations. Here we've got 1 bathroom on either floor, 4 bedrooms. The house is located in a historic district, and the design is going to reflect the historic character of that neighborhood. Next, we have 169 Hurley, before and after again. As you can see, we've cleared up the landscaping, we've refreshed the exterior. This has 3 bedrooms, so it's limited to households between 3 and 6 people. It's located in the Uptown neighborhood, and it's going to have a maximum purchase price of around $210,000. Again, house has 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. It includes a new front porch, new appliances that are all electric, a large backyard, and renovation is nearly finished here. Again, encourage you to swing by and check it out. And last but not least, we have 124 Franklin in the Midtown neighborhood. And you can see the before and after work here. We've done some extensive work here, added front porch. Really happy with what we've done with this house. Again, it's a 3-bedroom house available to household sizes between 3 and 6 people. And we'll have that same maximum purchase price of $210,000. Again, the floor plans are available online if you'd like to explore them in more detail. So now Eileen is going to get more into the pricing. I believe you're on mute, Eileen.
Sorry about that. So the house at 169 Hurley and 124 Franklin have a maximum purchase price of $210,066, limited to 3 to 6 people in the household. 29 Rogers will have a maximum purchase price of $236,475 and is limited to 4 to 8 persons in the household. The price could decrease based upon grant availability and eligibility. And that's what the folks from SONYMA are going to talk about in a little bit. The price is set relative to what's called area median income and family size. Each house is subject to mortgage commitments. You must remain an owner, so owner occupied in the house for 30 years. Sale during this period is allowed, but is subject to affordability conditions. And it has to maintain affordability on the sale. The full guidelines will be provided to you prior to closing.
I'd
So
like to
yes,
open the floor to Darrell. Thanks.
Yes, good evening. My name is Darrell Ford, and I am from the State of New York Mortgage Agency. And we are a state agency that provides affordable mortgage products to low and moderate income households. One of the key elements of our products include down payment assistance, closing cost assistance, both of which do not have to be repaid. We also offer very low cost mortgages with low fees, and when compared to other mortgage products, quite low interest rates. One of the things that I think is a particular benefit in conjunction with the partners that have been speaking today is a new mortgage product that we are offering called Credit is Due. It is aimed at populations that have been historically underserved. It offers up to $30,000 in down payment assistance, which does not have to be repaid if you remain in the home for 10 years, and interest rates as low as 2% off prevailing interest rates if you qualify. SONYMA, the State of New York Mortgage Agency, does not offer these mortgage products directly. We do that through lending partners. And we have here today lending partners from Clifco Mortgage and Movement Mortgage, who are very familiar with the SONYMA mortgage product and would be available to those who participate in this lottery and even those who perhaps cannot proceed with the lottery, but are still interested in home ownership. Our programs have no minimum credit score and incredible benefits. And we think that for those who are interested in homeownership, which you must be if you are on this call, that there is incredible benefit that we hope that you will continue to pursue. I will let us continue and hope that at the end of this presentation, we're going to be providing the very specific contact information for two lending partners who know incredible amounts about SONYMA and can connect to anyone interested in our programs. So Mike, I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks. We have that contact info on the next slide, but we're wrapping up our segment of the presentation here. Just want to highlight two important things, the two next steps. First, if you haven't already, register at kclb.org/homes by November 8th. After that, the next step is to complete the PathStone intake packet, which is due a month later, December 8th. So these are the kind of action items we want to take away with from this presentation. I think, yes, now let's open this up to questions. But I think before we do that, let's take a 5-minute break for interpretation. We'll be back. Just gather your questions, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Could I ask a quick question, or should I wait?
Hi, Quincy, this is Mike. Sorry, you caught me away from the camera. Would you mind
Sorry,
waiting?
Mike.
That's okay. Would you mind
You
waiting
know
until?
what I noticed? I
wait.
noticed.
Quincy, though, sorry, I'm sorry. Would you mind waiting until after the break
Oh,
period
no
is ended?
problem. No
Just in
problem.
case other folks step away or something, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, I don't. I'm trying to make it home within the next 3 minutes, but
Okay.
because my phone says 3% and it might
Oh my
die.
goodness.
But that's
Quincy,
okay.
would you like to ask your question? I will remember it and we will ask it publicly so you can see the answer in the recording if you can't make it.
Yes, please.
Yes,
With
of
one
course.
of the properties, I think on Franklin Street, it says 1 bathroom, but when you look at the picture, it looks like it has a powder room and a bathroom.
Great question, Quincy. We will answer that in the public session. I will pull up the plans and verify that now.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Hope you have a
All
wonderful evening.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. Thanks everyone for your patience. We're gonna open up the Q&A now. We have some questions in the chat. And if you want to ask your question, just please use the raise hand feature in reactions on the Zoom taskbar. But let's get started with what we have in the chat so far. The first question, is the lottery for each house worked out individually? So if we're only interested in 1 out of 3 houses, should we still apply?
Maybe I'll take that one. Thank you for the question. You should apply for all houses, and throughout the process, we will be determining if you have a preference for one house over the others, which house you qualify for, or homes, and moving forward, working with PathStone after you register on our website. So I would recommend that you register, begin the process.
Next question, will we be able to go inside if we swing by?
Many people ask this question, and we very much appreciate it. Unfortunately, the homes are currently under active construction, and we're not allowed to allow access to the sites during that period. However, we have a wonderful video series upcoming, which will include a walking tour inside of all the homes. This will be posted on YouTube and also to our registration page. Look for that in the coming weeks. I am currently slated to help film the final video this week.
Recommend following us on Instagram as well to keep up with our renovation progress. Next question, Eileen addressed this in the chat, but if you are a couple but expecting a child, does that qualify you as a 3-person home? And Eileen?
And I said, not until the baby is born. It has to be a live birth. So we can't count you as a larger family until that baby is actually born.
We have a follow-up about, is that by the projected move-in day, or when would the baby need to be born for the qualification process?
During the lottery, so it's gotta be by the lottery.
Which right now we're expecting to be in late January. There was another question that came in during the break, which I just lost. Okay. Just asking how many bathrooms there are in Franklin Street. I believe the slide said 1, but the floor plans show a powder room for 1.5.
That's correct. It's a 1.5. Apologies for that mistake in the presentation, but the floor plans are accurate.
Happy it's more.
It's a beautiful home.
Another question, a family of 2 expecting a child and considering a live-in maid. Does the maid actively have to be living with us now?
That is a new one for me. According to the guidelines, it can only be a living aid. So that would be something that's for healthcare. So a living maid is something we would need to have further discussion on.
And I just want to jump in. SONYMA also has eligibility requirements, and we look at household, and many of our guidelines align with the guidelines that Eileen has shared and Kingston Lamig has shared. Live-in employees other than a health aide are not eligible in the household count per SONYMA guidelines.
Thank you for that, Darrell.
Thank you.
I believe those are all the questions from the chat. We can hang around, see if anybody has further questions for a few minutes. But Again, we have the contact information on this slide, and the slides are available at kclb.org/home. If you want to dig through them and find more bathrooms. But yeah, feel free to reach out to any of these contacts. Again, these contacts from Movement Mortgage and Clifco Mortgage are the contacts Darrell was referencing earlier. We have another question that just came in. A grandparent living to help with child care would have to be counted, correct? Would a grandparent count as a?
The household, we would be looking at their income as well, so they have to meet the income guidelines. And again, we need to really a family member living there just to help with childcare. Again, we have to make sure we're doing our due diligence with household sizes, family income. So if that person is part of your house now, are they on do you claim them as a dependent? Are they on your tax return? So there's certain things that we're going to be looking at. So I don't know if Darrell wanted to add anything else.
Yeah, I'd be happy to add to that. And so, yes, a grandparent living in the household who assists with childcare, they would be included in the household count. As Eileen has said, their income would also be factored in. We also allow under SONYMA guidelines, and this is separate from the land bank offering and the lottery, we allow border income. So if you've got an aunt, an uncle, or somebody who's part of the family and perhaps has limited income, their income can help you qualify towards the mortgage under SONYMA's alternative underwriting program. Because families don't necessarily have the same, they're not necessarily just a nuclear family. So it's important to discuss your household makeup and the income, both with PathStone, the housing counselor, and with a SONYMA experienced lender who can help put together the best approval and structure for your mortgage.
And one thing that we do in the very beginning, when you get an intake packet, you'll be getting a form that is a household size form that needs to be notarized to say who's in your household now and who's going to be living in the household when you close. This way, all the questions will be answered up front, and we'll know who's going to be living where and how we're going to count the income and make sure that there's enough bedrooms for everybody. Or on the other side of it, we don't want too many bedrooms. So we want to make sure that we're not either under or over housing.
There's a follow-up question. Would the credit of the grandparent be counted, be considered as well?
If they're not on the mortgage, no.
We have another question. How do I apply with the banks?
So I'd be happy to jump in here. So I think there's an incredible opportunity with this lottery in that you have the resources available of PathStone and the housing counseling, but you can also reach out directly to the lenders and these contacts. But I do encourage folks, depending on where you are in your journey to home ownership, if you feel comfortable completing the forms and you feel you understand the process, you can feel free to reach out to the SONYMA experienced lenders. But I do want to stress that if you're uncertain and you need that additional support, there's incredible value in the services of PathStone and the housing counselors to guide you with the application package and seeking what's best for you. The contacts that we have shared today, they are focused on SONYMA's specialized program, Credit is Due, which is aimed at underserved communities, and they have a certain understanding and will be able to provide you with some guidance on the best options open to you. But there's a lot of resources that are being shared here today, and folks should avail themselves of all of them.
As a HUD certified counseling agency, we have to refer you to at least 3 lenders. You can certainly choose your own. One of the criteria will be that you will have to get a lender approval from the lender of your choice to make sure that you can afford this loan, even though we're providing you with the education counseling, we are not a mortgage lender, so you won't be getting your mortgage from either PathStone or from the land bank. So that's why it's so important that Darrell shared information with you tonight. You've got lenders that provide great SONYMA products, whether you for that one or go elsewhere. SONYMA has many different partner lenders across New York State. We may even be who you do your bank with now. So again, just know that we're here to help you and guide you. And you're the one making the decision on where you want to go. We're just giving you the tools that you need.
That's it? No more questions? Sorry, Kyle.
Questions? No, it's fine. A reminder, we're gonna be posting the video recording of this presentation in both English and Spanish online if you want to come back and follow up on anything. But yeah, at this point, I don't see any new questions. Feel free to reach out to any of these contacts, as we were saying, with questions. Mike, any final thoughts?
Just would like to thank everyone again for joining us. We understand that this is a complicated process. It can be a somewhat intimidating process. We appreciate you trusting all of us here on this call for trying to guide you towards the path towards homeownership. And we understand that it's difficult. And we always have to keep that in mind, that throughout the process, we are here to be resources to you. And so we hope that this was helpful. We hope that any questions that you have afterwards, you reach out to us. And we really thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you to Darrell, and thank you to Eileen, and thank you to Kyle, and thank you to Alexis.
Thanks, Mike. All right, I guess we'll wrap it up. Again, feel free to reach out to these contacts with any questions.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Take care.
everybody.
Goodbye.